I feel extremely violated with how so many people saw me non-consensually in a vulnerable position. I feel like people are always going to use this as proof that I slept my way into whatever achievement I garner. I feel like it's evidence that everything would be better with me gone. And then she replied to my specific suggestion with, I feel like whatever I ask you to cover will be too high a price too, and then I'm going to feel even worse over it. She said that whatever amount she'd ask for would likely be too high, despite me not yet mentioning a dollar amount. At this point, I noticed her language was also taking a sharply pointed and more deliberate tone, with words like justice, non-consensual, and vulnerable showing up for the first time in our messages almost 2 weeks out from when the original leaks actually happened. I was trying to walk an impossibly fine line with my conversations with Pxie, balancing a few key things. I was concerned for her well-being and mental health, but I wasn't sure what she was getting at with her claim of me not giving her as much money as she'd want. I was also trying to comfort her in regards to the leaks without downplaying or minimizing what she was feeling, a concern I communicated with Aaron at the time. On the same day that she was expressing her thoughts of suicidality to me, she began to aggressively fight with trolls online about subject matter that seemed to be begging for people to bring attention to the recently leaked material. On that same day, December 12th, why do people think the woman body is automatically sexual? Why is it considered morally higher to be covered up? Why does other people sexualizing me makes my body a moral dilemma?
Wait, what is this argument he's making? On the same day she was expressing her thoughts of suicidality to me, she began to aggressively fight with trolls online about the subject matter that seemed to be begging for people to bring attention to the recently leaked material. I mean, I guess I don't view that. I mean, she's having an entirely separate conversation about about Islamophobia, I guess, because she has a sexual thing. Yeah, I would say probably to not tweet this, but I don't think this is like really evidence of any. This feels like a stretch. I understand his argument is supposed to be, well, if she really cares about people not understanding or not looking at her sex tapes, why is she out here making comments about sexual things, including her body? This feels like obvious picking at straws here. I mean, I'm a call stretch on both sides when I see stretch on both sides. I called it when I was reading the Pxie lawsuit. I'm a call it here.
Agreed that this was a crazy Twitter battle to engage in at the time, and it seemed especially strange given that Pxie told me 8 hours earlier that she was still receiving DMs related to the leaks, was petrified of her parents finding out what had happened, and would kill herself if it ever got that far. Bro, why fight about this today of all days? She's so brave. Yeah, I don't know if brave is the right word.
Wait, what? It's like a weird conversation to have while you're discussing about recompense for fucking leaking the sexual material of that person. But I mean, okay, can I join and explain this point if you want?
Hello.
Greetings. All right, what's up?
Well, I'm pretty sure what Destiny was trying to say about that was Pxie was saying that she doesn't want herself associated with the leaks at all. But at the same time, she was fighting on on Twitter about the leaks, and then she included her own body about them.
Right, so that's not what happened. So she wasn't fighting about the leaks. If you look at it, she's fighting about Islamophobia and Muslim women covering up. And there was a controversial video of a woman sleeping with 100 people in a day. And I believe that if I had to guess, and, you know, I'm not a betting man, but I wager that this woman is trying to be pro-Islam, or this person is trying to be pro-Islam and say, like, if a woman sleeping with 100 men in a day is considered normal, which they're loading as being vile, then why can't a morally high Muslim woman cover up? Essentially, if a woman of the West is allowed to sleep with 100 men a day and have that be okay, why can't a Muslim woman cover up and that be seen okay? And it's like, we are not here to convince degenerates like you to believe that this is normal. I'm assuming this is somebody saying that if they want to sleep with 100 people a day, it's fine. You are just a horrible Islamophobe.
Yeah, I get that point. Can you read her statement again? I don't have it up on my phone.
Sure, I got you. Her statement in response to what I just read was, why do people think women are simply, why do you think, I just had a stroke. Why do people think the woman body is automatically sexual, period? Why is it considered morally higher to be covered up? Question mark. Why does other people sexualizing me make my body a moral dilemma? Yeah. This has absolutely nothing to do with the leaks. The only connection that you can draw is that she's talking about her body and a sexual topic. And she's not even,
Yeah,
I mean,
think,
she's referring to her body in an abstract sense. She's referring to women's bodies, not even her own exclusive body.
I understand that, but, and I think Destiny's mind is somebody that has their leaks or their news leaks is like saying, "Oh, I don't want anything to do with this," but at the same time gets in a conversation is of, you know what? Why is the woman body like seen as negative? If somebody and she's like obviously talking about her own body, right? Like she gets, and it's not just that one off. I think I'm pretty sure he shows like more uh
Just to be clear, that's not
more examples.
that's not the argument. The argument is that she messaged him earlier that day saying that a bunch of people are like harassing her and still mentioning it, and that Andrew's community and the red pill community are all kind of bringing this up a lot, and that she's like terrified of her family finding out, that like the worst thing in the world could be her family finding out, and that's what's making her suicidal. But then she goes and starts fights literally just a few hours after telling Destiny in those DMs that she was suicidal over this and that this is the worst thing that could possibly happen. Just a few hours later, she then goes and starts a fight with red pillars about whether or not a woman's body is being sexualized by them, or if she's sexualizing it by putting it out there or recording videos and it being put out there. And so he's saying that like, yeah, you're just asking for these people to come and like bring this up and call you a slut and call you a whore and bring up the fact that you were just leaked with me. Like, you literally just said hours ago, this is the last thing that you want to happen, and you're going and doing it. And so that's what him and Straighterite are talking about, where they're saying, oh, she's so brave. Oh, this is such a great idea. Is because, yes, they're kind of making fun of her for doing.
Wait, if they can make fun of her for doing this, right, and they view a very realistic outcome being more people talking about her leaks, why can't I make fun of Destiny for sharing a picture of him sucking, or video of him sucking cock to a 19-year-old and not reasonably expecting it to get leaked?
Because the reason why it got leaked was not because she was 19, right?
That doesn't matter. It's whether or not he had a reasonable expectation that it would get leaked. I'm just referring to the 19-year-old. Again, I will preface that it's not them being 19 that is exclusively the idea of why I would think that it would be realistic. It's they're 19, he doesn't know their name, he's never met them, and he's only had, Discord calls with them? That's what I would preface.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know like the extent of their relationship really. I know that he doesn't know her name, that he hasn't talked to her on the phone, but I don't know how many DMs they had before this happened, and I'm not sure as to like the full extent of their relationship. So I'm not really sure, but I don't know that I know that he would expect it to be leaked, but I guess you could say that he probably acts pretty negligently with the amount of people that he trusts.
Right. So, but the argument here is that he's painting Pxie as being reckless and implying that what? What is this implying? Like, why is this? What is the purpose of this? I feel like it's communicating a specific purpose, but I want to hear from you two. What do you think the purpose of adding this is?
It's to say, I think the idea is that they don't think she's actually suicidal. That's the idea, is that they don't think she's actually suicidal. Because I don't know if it's come up yet, but there's a message from Straighterite at some point. I don't know if you want me to like spoil it, but there's a message from Straighterite at some point that says that Pxie wasn't actually suicidal and that she was just trying to make Destiny like take this really seriously. And so apparently Straighterite, I think, said this to President Sunday, I believe, and was sending President Sunday like screenshots of her conversations with Pxie. And so then tells him that Pxie wasn't really suicidal at the time.
Okay, and this is based on what? Straighterite's conversations with Pxie?
I think it's her own.
She said Pxie told her that.
Okay. So just to be clear, it's just Straighterite's word?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah,
Okay.
he's just going off.
Because I'm just.
Is there broader context to that? Would be my question.
I don't know. I think that that's like the whole point of like him bringing that up is he's saying she's telling me she's suicidal and that she's super afraid of this. But then we know straight away saying she's not actually suicidal and she's literally doing the opposite of what a rational actor would do in this case. It's just that if somebody is suicidal, I don't think they're normally rational actors. They're not normally doing things rationally. But I do think that like the thing that they are most afraid of is something that they would probably stay away from. The problem is that I went and actually looked at the comment section of what it was that she was saying. It was brought up in there once or twice, but it wasn't like a common thing. And I went through like a lot of her red pill fights with like random red pillers all over the place. She does that consistently. There were not a lot of comments. There was maybe one or two in almost all of them, but that was about it. There wasn't like a huge flood of people coming in. So
Sure. What is that relevant to?
that he's wrong,
he
that
just-
this isn't that it is rational, because every time she does this and she fights against red pillars, they're not coming in and harassing her. And so he's saying, oh, if she tweets like this, obviously they're all going to come talk about the leaks, but they're not coming and talking about the leaks. So he is just kind of wrong that like from her perspective, she probably doesn't think that that's a likely scenario because they're not really doing it. But she is saying that they're doing it as well. So I don't know where they're doing it. It might be in other threads somewhere. I didn't find them.
Well, I mean, if people were posting the actual revenge porn, that would be getting removed, right? So it might be really hard to investigate that after the fact.
Yeah. Well, and I would assume that because this is like at this tweet that he's at right now is in December 12th. So it's like 2 weeks after that it got posted initially. So I would assume that she also would have blocked a lot of people who were just bringing up the fact that this is happening too.
Okay. So why are we calling to question the harassment she got? If
I
we
don't-
admit
we're
that there's
not.
a lot of reasons that it would have like tapered off or
Nope.
something?
We're
Okay.
calling into question
Nobody's
that
doing it.
idea that Destiny is saying that she's that she's doing something that's irrational, and I'm saying it seems rational. It seems like she's already worked out in her head that this isn't causing more harassment for her. And so his thought process is, if she was really suicidal, she wouldn't do this. And I'm saying, well, even if she was suicidal, it looks like this isn't actually getting her the outcome that he thinks she's trying to avoid. So
Oh, that's my bad. I saw some content of yours the other day where you're making like a slightly different argument. So I mapped that on. But that is a good point. Yeah, I think. There could be, I mean, it doesn't even necessarily mean that, but I would say that his argument is broadly bad.
And to be
So,
clear, an
I would
issue that
agree.
I had with the straighter aid comment about her not being suicidal, and we'll get to it, is then did Erudite lie?
what
Because
Erudite
What do you mean?
Erudite
told the
has
same thing?
claimed several times to have verified that she was suicidal. And not only that, Erudite is trained in understanding about how to handle and deal with people who are on the precipice. Having handled one of my roommate's exes probably more times than she should have
Well-
during suicidal episodes.
She couldn't be. It could be a possibility that she wasn't lying. Like she just said, I'm doing this to get Destiny's attention, but she didn't tell Erudite that. So Erudite that she thought that she was actually, you know.
So
That could be a
you
possibility.
feel like it is likely that this woman, or likely enough that this woman manipulated Erudite and lied to her. That's your argument.
It's not my argument. So it's a possibility.
Okay,
Like,
so I'm just trying to figure out who is then telling the truth, because Erudite,
Can I?
somebody,
Oh, go ahead.
good.
Well, I just want to lay out a theory here really quickly, in that she says like, yeah, I'm suicidal, but I'm not going to do anything over the holidays. And I think that is,
Oh yeah.
it feels likely to me that that's like what Aaron is referring to, is like, hey, she's suicidal, but doing a wellness check, she's going to say like, I'm not actually suicidal. I'm not immediately suicidal. I'm having suicidal ideation, but I'm not
Wait,
immediately
wait.
suicidal. I don't need to do a wellness check. That is what I'd heard about these logs. This was in the context of doing a wellness check for Pxie.
She
Like, why aren't
said
we doing a
that
wellness check?
she said that because she didn't want to, you know, traumatize her friends in the holidays and ruin their holidays. So it was still a suicide threat, right? She said, I'm not going to kill myself on Christmas because I want to ruin their Christmas. But that doesn't mean it
Mhm.
was like false alarm. It was still a
Sure.
Yeah, I'm just calling it a question because again, the whole argument is all of this evidence is supposed to be predicated on the idea that her suicidality was not legitimate. And
no. We don't know that for sure. That's just like what Destiny showed a text message of somebody saying that, but that was just like, okay, so like Destiny had
yeah,
like
I want the because if it's the same message I've seen, I want like context because it's literally just a message floating out into the ether. I need like context.
Yeah, the
But
problem
it
with the
seems
message
like
that he shows as well, just to be clear, is that the message from Straighteraid has like 4 screenshots below it as well, where it looks like she's showing screenshots of something from Pxie, but we can't actually click on the screenshots. We can't see what it is she's sending with the screenshots. I don't think that she was saying. I don't think that she was saying that it was just like in terms of a wellness check, because she says like she just told Destiny that just to like get him to like take it seriously or something like that, or just to get it. She said just to get his attention. That's what she said. She said that she was suicidal, but she told me that she's not really. She's just saying that just to get his attention. But that is yeah, we only have what Straighteraid's saying about this. And so I think what we were talking about is the fact that Destiny's now piecing together that he also thinks she's doing the opposite of what she would do if she was suicidal over Andrew and his audience. She would not be quote tweeting Andrew's audience and red pill type people and starting fights with them if that's what like the last thing that she wants, like she said just a couple hours earlier.
also really Destiny and this girl, they have like a middleman, and that's like the person that, in my opinion, I would trust the most. You said the other girl had like training and stuff.
Yeah,
Erudite?
Yeah, but like she's not like the middleman of Destiny and
She was the
Pxie.
middleman.
So
No,
pretty
she
sure she
was the
was.
middleman. She was literally the
I'm
middleman.
pretty
Yes,
sure she
it's not
was
so
the like,
erudite.
principal middleman.
Yeah, that was Kyla. Yes, she was the middleman. So she went and met with Pxie as well. She went out to dinner with her. She talked to her. And she did say, I don't know if she was doing a full like analyzing. I remember what the way when she explained it and I heard her explain it, I thought she was just saying, yes, like she was actually like very suicidal, because she did say that she had already planned it out. She had already bought the tools. She already knew what she was going to do. And that like this shows that she is actually like up against the wall. It's not just a thing. It's not just like she's considering whether or not she should consider suicide or whether or not it's okay to consider suicide. It's that no, she's actually said that she's bought these things. And so because she's already like bought the tools and planned it out, to me, that is saying that like she's actually having real suicidal ideation. But that was the extent of the analysis from what I understood. I could be wrong though.
Wait, so like two people that are trusted, like the middleman, are saying different things? That's a hard one.
When no, they're not. They're again, the middleman is just not so erudite. She's just saying that. And I don't know that.
Yeah,
I don't know that not so
So
erudite
as
was
my
actually
understanding, Not
trained
So
in
Erudite
to
said
analyze whether or not they're actually suicidal. From my understanding, she's trained in just like actually helping people with suicide. Like once they have suicidal ideation,
correct.
she's able to
Yeah,
help them
I
deal with
believe
it.
that's
But
what she's trained in. Yeah.
yes, it's like helping with people with suicidal ideations. But I don't know if she's like been taught to question whether or not somebody's actually like suicidal, and question like what I think that most of the time you're supposed to like believe them. And yeah, she may have. I could be wrong there, but that was my.
She gave like some like empirical checklist for like checking levels of suicidal ideation.
Yes, levels.
But I agree with you.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's like
exactly.
What is it like? You have like a plan, like a motive or something, and then
if
she
you've already
like,
planned it out. Yeah, exactly.
Which I mean, it sounds like there's like 19 different times she made a plan. So she was planning, that's for sure.
Bro, this is off.
I'm
Man. What the fuck? This is some dark shit. Oh, so good.
Yeah, so just to be clear, I was jumping on just to like clarify his argument, because that is the argument that he's making is he's laying out a bunch of different things that he saw from his perspective that made him start to wonder if she was actually suicidal and whether or not she was like trying to like extort him or something. And so he's laying out why he was questioning this at the time. This is not my thought process, and this is not what I think, because yeah, I went and kind of like went through these things in a bit more detail than it seems like he did to kind of double check some of these things, and that is not my analysis, but I'm super curious to hear from Straighterade why she said that. That is
Wait, Tom, can I ask you a question?
Mhm.
Did it seem a little blackmail-y? She did, Pixie? Or
I
what it
think
seems
that
like she
in
did?
these cases, I feel like it's fairly normal for somebody who could sue somebody and who is a victim of somebody to like want money from them or some sort of compensation and punishment for that person. And it
Well,
didn't.
it wasn't just money, right? It was, you're gonna do this or I'm gonna kill myself.
Sure, I don't
It
think
was both.
she actually
It was
said
actually
that.
both, right?
I don't think she's saying that. That
Well,
is the implication, obviously, but
the wording was, if I don't like the response, I'm gonna fucking kill myself, right?
yeah, that is the implication. That wait, well, kind of yes, but she also says to Not So Erudite that, or sorry, she says directly to Destiny, I don't know if you can actually offer enough that I will feel like is enough, but then if I actually do get enough, then I'll feel too bad about it, and so I don't know what to do about this, right? She apparently deleted that message later, and so he shows that like the message is gone and it got deleted the day before he was sent a legal notice to not delete anything, that she had deleted that message the day before. But that is like saying that like to me it reads as, I don't even want you to pay me. I'm not even sure if I want you to pay me, because I think
Come
that I
on,
would like
man. Come
struggle
on.
with it. Well, what do you read from that? Tell me what you get from that message.
It seems like what she feels betrayed what Destiny did, and she wants like she wants revenge, or she want not
Right,
really
but that
the
message, the one that
wants
I
a big
just
amount of
the
money.
one that I just mentioned, where she says like, you know, if you paid me what you thought was enough, it probably won't be enough. But if you paid me what I thought would be enough, I would feel horrible about it and I wouldn't be able to live with myself. So what do you take from that message?
It's not real like this. Well, okay, if that statement is true, then there's no way that he could pay her, right?
Well,
So why would you
exactly. That's
go
what
to
I.
make
No,
That's
the
it.
point would
Exactly.
be to come to a compromise. The
Well,
point would be to
but
come
I
to a
am saying that
compromise.
she is giving this implication that she's not even sure if she wants the money right now and that she's still thinking about it. So the idea that she's saying, give me money or I'll kill myself, I'm saying she's kind of giving a message that says, well, I don't even know that that's what I want right now, because I'm not even sure that I'm comfortable with the idea of you giving me enough money. So
Okay, fair enough. It just seems like, I don't know. It seems off. Like
yeah, there's a bunch of things
I,
in here
I
that are like inconsistencies and that seem weird and that I have questions about. But it's not this like certain thing that I think you come out with a manifesto about to make like a lot of claims about or anything. I don't think that it's this concrete thing that's very um yeah, I don't think that it's that simple. And so I think that there wasn't enough legwork done here.
Okay, I'm going to keep going with the video.
All right. Later.
Was
I mean, I'm going to stay in here. If anybody wants to stay in here, they can. But if anybody wants to leave, you don't even have to say anything. You can just leave.
petrified of her parents finding out what had happened and would kill herself if it
Good.
ever got that far.
Cool.
Bro, why fight about this today of all days? She's so brave. Yeah, I don't know if brave is the right word.